Breaking the news that's already broken. It's time for Prospector's Briefs on Rock 107.
The NFL draft starts tonight. A fun drinking game will be to do a shot each time someone on the ESPN broadcast says Jacksonville Jaguars. You'll be drunk in the first 10 minutes. Today is Take Our Daughters and Sons to Work Day, which is why Nick Cannon chartered 2 buses. The Giants and Jets each have 2 picks in the first round of tonight's NFL draft. My deepest condolences to all 4 players.
Prospector ruins everything, even the news. Tune in tomorrow for Prospector's Briefs on Rock 107.
I'd have some trouble with this in my personal life. Good morning, I'm Rock 107's Prospector. Relax. I'm not talking about what you might be thinking. I'm talking about keeping jokes clean. Yeah, I struggle with that sometimes. I like a dirty joke here or there. Today is National Clean Joke Day, and I thought, well, let's get somebody who's used to telling clean jokes in to do it. So Alexa is here to help.
Here's some clean jokes for Clean Comedy Day. What do mermaids use to wash their fins? Tide. Did you hear Steve Harvey and his wife got into a fight? It was a family feud. What is your foot's favorite kind of chip? Toes. What do you call a lazy physician? Dr. Doolittle. What does it take to get a job at a zoo in Australia? Koala vacations. Happy Clean Comedy Day. Alexa out.
Your wife. I know the NFL draft is this weekend, and I know you and your unwashed buddies will be sitting around the living room speaking in grunts and belches for 2 days. That's fine. I get it. I just have a few reminders. My crystal stemware is not a collection of chewing tobacco spit cups. My mother's antique coffee table is not a playing field for paper flickball. There will be no X's and O's drawn on the TV screen. No hiking or passing of beer bottles. You will not place nacho chips on the carpet to demonstrate the West Coast offense. And, most importantly, I've taped operator instructions directly above the toilet. Thank you. I'll see you when you regain consciousness on Monday.
Join us again next time for NFL Draft Suggestions from your wife.
From a guy named Jesse who just opened up a new restaurant and music venue, and he's like, hey, Prospector, I'm wondering if you could prank call my manager, Lance. He's a good guy, works real hard, but he definitely would enjoy it, and I certainly know I would. Maybe you could come up with something. So I came up with the idea that I would call Lance, and I would try to book new musical acts, but they would all have one very specific thing in common. They're all nicknames for diarrhea. It's time for another Prospector prank call on Rock 107.
This is Lance.
Yeah, hi. Is this the place I saw an ad looking for new musical acts? Is that you guys?
Yeah.
Great. What kind of venue are you? Like straight music, or do you have a restaurant, or?
Yeah, we're a restaurant, and then we have music in the back.
All right. My name is Rick Johnson, and I represent a couple of acts here in Northeast PA, and I just want to know if I could pitch some of them to you, see if you'd be interested. Is there any kind of particular music you're looking for? Do you like country? Is it like more like a rock, hard rock, rap?
We keep it like mainstream, something that you can eat food to.
Well, I represent a lot of indie acts, I think they could fit your venue. What I'd like to do is just go ahead and pitch you their names, and if any of them sound familiar, you could just stop me and we could talk about booking that act. Is that something that'd be cool with you?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Great, cool. First one is Green Apple Splatter. Have you heard of them?
No.
Okay, they're like a bluegrass thing. Drippy Trip?
No.
Okay, we have Porcelain Artist. I'm just going to go through and just stop me if one of them sounds familiar, okay?
Okay, sure.
All right, The Wet Dragon. Toilet Chili. They're more like experimental.
Toilet Chili?
You don't know about them?
No.
Liquid Diamonds?
No.
Bum Water?
No, none of them so far.
No? The Runny Deuce? Have you heard of them?
No.
Geez, how about Chocolate Rain? Have you heard of that one?
Chocolate Rain, the YouTube video?
No. They're actually, they're like an indie band. Chocolate Rain has got nothing to do with the YouTube video.
No.
Okay, what about Loose Jimmies? You ever heard of them?
No.
None of these bands? Not Soup Grenade?
No, definitely not Soup Grenade, not Jimmy.
Laxident. Have you heard of Laxident?
No.
Party Mud?
No, these don't. No, I haven't heard of any of these.
How about Blow Mud?
Blow Mud?
Duties Do?
No. What's so funny? I don't.
Nothing. How about have you heard of Out the Wazoo,
No.
or Taco Bell Blast, or like Bun Sauce, or Avalanche?
No.
What about Melvin with a...
None of these I've ever heard of.
You ever heard of Booty
I don't
Quick?
get what's so funny.
Or Prosty Guts?
What?
Prosty Guts?
No.
What about this? Have you heard of Green Apple Quick Step?
Green Apple Quick Step? No.
No? You haven't heard of the Chili Rainbow?
I don't know. I don't think you're...
You haven't heard of Nasty Faucet?
I don't get what's so funny. I haven't heard of any of these, and I don't think...
You could say... All right, say I haven't heard of, like, Deli Belly or Colon Confetti.
Okay. I see what this is. These are all
How about
nicknames
Chocolate
for
Lightning?
diarrhea, aren't they?
What's that?
They're all nicknames for diarrhea, aren't they? Is that what you're
what
doing?
makes you say that?
I Googled it.
I'm sorry. Lance.
What?
Your manager, Jesse, told us we could call him.
Jeez. I'm going to get... Oh, man, that is... Who is this?
It's Prospector. It's a Prospector prank call. You're on Rock 107 right now, man. It's not real.
Yeah. Oh, man, you guys had me going for a minute.
So you never heard of fart barfing?
Not play any type of music.
Loose Motion?
Yeah, I've never heard of any of these bands, and then I figured out what you were doing, though.
Are you sure none of those sound good to you?
No, I don't think.
How about Chocolate Dunkers? No?
Life's pretty tough right now. There's plenty of bad news, but it's not all bad. It's time for the brighter side of Prospector on Rock 107.
Wouldn't it be great as you're making your way on 81 today to get this call? A 58-year-old construction worker in Maryland was on his way to work last Saturday, and he found out he wasn't really needed that day. So he decided to take the day off, went to a liquor store, bought a lottery ticket, and won $100,000.
Thanks. We needed that. The brighter side of Prospector on Rock 107. What's a yambag? A fool, an idiot, a blockhead, a dunce, or an ignoramus. You know, a dullard, simpleton, or a clot, nitwit, dipstick, pea-brain, mouth breather, or cretin.
It's now time to announce the winner of Prospector's Yambag of the Day, as decided by you at rock107.com.
Here are the nominees. Nominee number 1.
Here's how to ruin your family's trip to Disney World. A 33-year-old guy from North Carolina named Quincy Campbell is facing charges after he recently tried to go through security at the Magic Kingdom with a gun. It was in a black bag hanging around his neck. When cops found it, he claimed he was holding it for his sister, who supposedly has a concealed carry license. But Quincy is a felon, so he's not allowed to handle guns, and Disney doesn't allow them anyway. But that wasn't the only thing that he had on his person. Police say that while they were asking about the gun, he got agitated. And when they tried to grab his arm, he pulled out a plastic bag apparently filled with drugs and dumped them into his mouth. He told him to spit them out, but he started chewing and eventually swallowed whatever was in there. Cops said they could see, quote, a chalky white substance around his mouth afterwards, but he claimed it wasn't drugs and that he'd only fought them off so he could pop some gum in. Cops also found weed, so he's facing charges for that, plus destruction of evidence, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. They took him to a hospital to make sure whatever he swallowed didn't kill him. Then they took him to jail.
Nominee number 2.
I don't know if this is a performance-enhancing drug or not, but it's definitely banned. A jockey in New Zealand is in trouble after she and her racehorse both tested positive for meth. Her name's Rochelle Lockett, and she's 50 years old. The horse that she helped train, named Bella Flexi, won a race back in January, but then tested positive for the drug, so Rochelle had to give hair and urine samples, and she tested positive too. It's not clear how the horse got meth in its system, but Rochelle eventually admitted she'd done the meth. First, she claimed she only did it once back in November because it was her birthday. But then her test results showed she'd been doing a lot more than that. She eventually admitted she'd done it 2 days before the race. New Zealand Racing Integrity Board just banned Rochelle for 3 years. She could be reinstated if she tests negative for 18 months, though. The horse also got banned, which, come on, seems unfair, but it's not the first time a racehorse has been methed up. One named I'm Not Ticklish tested positive for meth back in 2014, and at least 2 other horses in New Zealand failed meth tests last year.
And the winner is...
the jockey and her racehorse, who both tested positive for meth. You are the Yambag of the day, and we'll move on to Friday's Yambag of the Week competition. Stay tuned for all the nominees for Prospector's Yambag of the Week Friday morning right here on Rock 107. Thanks for listening to Prospector's Prime Cuts podcast. Be sure to catch us live weekdays from 5:30 to 10 a.m. on Rock 107 or online at rock107.com or the Rock 107 app, a free download for your Android or iPhone. Subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, or wherever you get your podcasts so you never miss Prospector's Prime Cuts.